Hello, everybody. This is Empirical Audiophile. I guess you could say this video is kind of like unpacking, if you want to say that. But what it is a introduction video for this particular integrated amplifier. This is a Unison Research integrated amplifier from Italy. It is called the new Simply 845. It's called that because it uses an 845 tube. If you don't know anything about Unison Research, I was introduced to them back maybe in the 90s. A salon had Unison Research. I think it was called Simply Italy. But this particular one is called the new Simply 845 because in 2023 it was upgraded. And that upgrade is why it's called the new Simply 845. Anyhow, that's what the Italians call it. But this is one of their top of the line integrated amplifiers. And there's two that sit in that line. One is called the Absolute Simply 845. And it's just basically, I guess, the Absolute 845. And that one is a 31-inch, 200-pound integrated amplifier, which, by the way, the Absolute 845 was nominated in 1994 as the best product of the year for in the Absolute Sound. They nominated as best product of the year in the Absolute Sound. So it really is very good sounding. Both the amplifiers are Class A rated, and they're SET, single-ended triode amplifiers. The Absolute has two 845 tubes in parallel, where this one only has one 845 tube. So the Absolute puts 40 watts per channel, and of course this one puts out 23 watts per channel. So they're not high wattage amplifiers, but they are Class A. And therefore they do not, like other amplifiers, run at a very low voltage. So this particular amplifier is going to run at 300 volts right off the bat. And that's what it's going to run at and idle at because it's Class A. That means that 23 watts is right there on demand instantaneously. It's not like an A-B amplifier. It's not splitting the signal like the Conrad Johnson Premier 11A is. It's just the tube does both negative and positive without splitting the signal, handing off the one tube to do the positive and the other tube to do the negative part of the signal. That's what makes Class A amplifiers unique, and single-ended triodes are considered to be the top way of producing music. It's the one that's more, what we could say, human-friendly because it uses only second-order distortion. And this one, this 845 here, is an absolute charm as far as the way it looks and its performance. Now you're probably thinking, why would I choose this amplifier over other 845s? Well, Unison Research is actually the pioneer of using the 845 tube. Since they've been in their inception since 1987, and if you think about it, Griffin has been around since 1985. So a lot of high-end companies were at the end of 1977 and the 1980s, a lot of high-end companies. And this was one of them that came around in the 80s. But they have concentrated on integrated amplifiers when everybody else was mainly convincing people that you had to buy separates. And they did not believe in really separates. They went with the course of integrated. Now, of course, today, lots of companies make integrated amplifiers. But being the first one to use the 845 tube, and if you think about it, the 211 tube, the 212 tube, 845, these are broadcasting tubes. After World War II, nobody wanted them anymore. They weren't useful. Their lifespan was over because of, solid state. No reason for it to use a big, huge broadcasting tube like 845. However, the Unison Research found the musicality in the 845 tube, so they started using it and making amplifiers around that particular tube, and they have perfected it over the years. And it wasn't until about the year 2000, it was 2000, where they started making more of your hybrid amplifiers and things like that. But basically, this is it if you want to top of the line. And you may ask, why would I get an Italian amplifier versus you could buy cheaper ones from China? Well, China has problems with their integrated amplifiers, even though some of them use the 845 tubes. From what I'm seeing, they're having quality control problems. They're having design problems. Their schematics aren't quite right. But the Italians, on the other hand, they've gotten everything with high quality parts that they use in their amplifiers. And of course, it's an Italian amplifier, so it looks beautiful. And I remember the first time I saw one back in the 90s. I thought, wow, this is a nice looking amplifier, But the reason I got it is Angaku amplifier, the Kondo Angaku, which was the Japanese audio note. After hearing that integrated amplifier, that kind of convinced me that integrated amplifiers are not inferior to separates, not anymore. Because separates, you still have to get separates like my Conrad Johnson. You got a Premier 10 and a Premier 11A. You still have to use an interconnect to connect the two pieces together to hopefully you will get the synergy right. On integrated amplifiers, you don't have to worry about the synergy. It's already there. And this is a plug and play, meaning that it's self-biasing. So the 4 tubes, the smaller tubes, are for the preamplifier because it is a tube preamp with a tube amplifier, all integrated together. So the 4 smaller tubes, which are 12 AU7s, I think they are, that's basically for just the preamplifier, where the 845s are for your amplification, all integrated together. And my Conrad Johnson Premier 10 uses 4 tubes also for the preamplifier. So far, after unpacking it, I had a friend help me hook it up. I'll do a review on it. Right now I am working on a review on it, but just to give you a little hint, it is unbelievable. I'm telling you right now. I will be trying this amplifier out with my LTEX and Klipsch Hershey speakers on both of them. But so far, what I'm hearing with this particular amplifier is just unbelievable. I will just say that it's well, like they say, the chief enemy of good is better. And as good as the Conrad Johnson 11A and the Premier 10 is, there's always going to be something out there that's going to be better. And so far, of what I'm hearing, listening, and testing on this particular integrated amp, it is far superior than the Conrad Johnson. Not only that, but it also has outlets for if you want to hook up a subwoofer. It already has RCAs going to a subwoofer, so that's another thing I will be trying out, putting a subwoofer on it with my LTEX. But I will get more into a review. In fact, this will be the first review in the United States on a Unison Research 845 amplifier, which I will be doing for you. But just to give you a little hint, it is bar none excellent. Beyond what I thought it would be, way beyond what I thought. So stay tuned for a review coming up of this particular simply 845 integrated amplifier by Unison Research. Until next time, happy listening.